And coming to you live from an old woman's house on a hill where Kenny has given up and sworn off all of college football. Creston went out hunting and we all pretended to be plumbers for a night. That's why we're doing this on Wednesday and not a Monday. It's Sports Allegedly.
Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Sports Allegedly on this November 1st, 2023. Thanks for joining us tonight. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to go over the NFL schedule last week and the upcoming games. We've got a lot of big ones. We'll give you an update on the World Series. We've actually got Game 5 on currently in the second inning. So we'll update you all as that goes along.
Bottom of the second, 2 outs.
We'll give a little bit of basketball talk. We'll give a lot of talk to the college football.
No, you said you're done with college football.
No, I didn't talk about the college football.
You said all
the first college playoff poll come out Tuesday.
Everyone, Kenny got into my car as we drove back on that lonely drive from Lawrence, Kansas to Kansas City, and Kenny swore off all of football. He said he's not talking about it anymore, that he's done with the entire season. He's done with everything. So, I don't know.
Promptly fell asleep.
Yeah, they
Mouth breathing.
Yeah, just mouth breathing. Well, let's
his mouth was definitely pointed right towards me with that nasty beer breath.
Let's get started. Let's talk about that game. We'll start with OU.
Oh, you want to start with that?
Yeah, we'll start with OU. I mean, I think that's the obvious that is the elephant in the room as far as it goes for OU fans.
I thought you were the elephant in the
OU
room.
suffered their very first loss of this football season to the Kansas Jayhawks, 38-33. 2 out of the 3 of us were there live. You'll find out why number 3 wasn't there a little later in the Outdoor Minute. But, hey, I mean, there's so much to talk about this game, I mean, that everybody hasn't already talked about.
We have had numerous screaming matches at each other.
That's why we now bring it here
away from
yes,
one another,
yes.
at other people, about everything that went wrong with the game, what it was, where it began to fall apart. I think from the opening kickoff.
I think collectively, though, it was kind of one of those games, and you generally see it from a team, and generally it's been OU recently, one a year, every year, that generally and collectively. That everything, there's so many components about what goes on in the game that it's not just one group, one individual's fault. This really was a team effort of losing.
Did we ever find the guy that was trying to get at Urban Meyer? He was right next to us the whole time screaming, "Bring me Urban Meyer."
So we had really good seats. We're on the second row. We were on the Kansas side though, so we got a up close of the whole game. You know, it's one of those things. We'll kind of start and we'll kind of chronologically go throughout the game a little bit. I mean, obviously, second play of the game. I think it's the second play of the game. You know, Gabriel throws the pick 6. Was a delayed pass, sideline pass, which I hate. I just hate that play in general. It rarely ever works. Generally, it gets you the most. And this guy was covered. So, pick 6. So the momentum, obviously, was in Kansas's favor right off the bat for the whole first quarter, and then we turn around and we outscore them 21-10 the second. So we're feeling good. Get into the third. Now, there's some injuries that happen in the middle of this. You know, Stutzman goes out. Stutzman goes out.
Stutzman.
He goes out. Also, Williams. I don't remember where he went out. And then Tommy Walker was running good, and he went out with an injury.
I don't even remember him going out.
Second half. We get a delay a game. Well, not delay a game. We get then we go through the weather delay, which was about an hour. I didn't time it, but I guess that's what they said it was. Momentum was good, and then we kind of continued that momentum after. I mean, I forgot we had scored on that. I thought it kind of took away, but we did score. But we get a turnover on Kansas's roughly 38, 40, whatever that was. Downs gets the pick. We got 3 downs. We run the ball 3 times.
3 horrible decisions. Calling decisions.
Going on 4th down, we get a penalty by a wide receiver to back because we were going to go for it. Backs us up. We got a punt. I really thought that whole sequence there was the epitome of that whole game. It's just you had the momentum, everything, and just you watch it and you're just getting frustrated. And then Kansas takes over, and it's like a breeze. They drive down the field. They leave us a little bit of time, and we can't make it. So Venables comes out. He says, "Hey, I made a mistake. I should have called for a timeout on the 4th and 6 when Kansas had it, and they had the long pass. I say long. It was a pretty good pass down that
right
opposite sideline.
Was it the
Yeah,
opposite?
yeah.
Which one was the middle of the field? Was that the first play
that was
they
when
did?
they drove across the field, yeah. And so it was a good pass, and it was 4th and 6. We could have stopped him right there. And it was just so many little things that we just didn't finish against a team that we were better in. We watched it with UCF. We watched it with Cincinnati. We're a better team than all those teams, and it just they didn't have the intensity like they had in Texas game. The physicality wasn't there. Of course, like I said, the Stutzman injury was huge.
Mm-hmm.
For the defense, obviously. He is the defense, in my opinion. That guy, when he goes, they go. But also, I thought the defensive line didn't have a lot of pressure like they had. There just wasn't a lot of juice. Hell, it was cold. We were all freezing, but those guys played like it was really cold. I don't know. It was just something about the intensity of that game, and then of course the defense Neal's a good running back for Kansas, not great, but he's good. They keep feeding him the ball, and he kept running it, and at the most inopportune times. So,
well, you already know my gripe was trying to get Freeman and Farouk. Trying to get Farouk on all those little injuries. I'm like, why isn't he being used as a receiver?
Yeah, but he lined up in the backfield multiple times in that game.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I didn't
If you have a stable of 4 running backs, why the fuck are you putting in a wide receiver as your running back?
I don't know why Sawchuk went out. I know why Walker went out. He got hurt. But look, his stats were pretty good. They
Not
fed him the ball.
With that.
Barnes
it's
come
Levy's play calling that I have a problem with. That is my biggest issue. I cannot get over all the.
So it's no longer
freaking...
Dylan Gabriel. Is that what we're saying? You've moved on.
No, that's a problem too.
No. The weak arm's still there.
He's one.
It's there. I was fishing, so I didn't get to see the game. I wasn't there. I didn't get to watch it. But I'm listening to it on the radio while I'm fishing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Gabriel throws the ball deep. Oh, it's a comeback catch.
Not in this game. There wasn't any deep balls. There might have been
20
one.
yards, 30
yeah,
yards.
Okay.
But, and it's still a comeback catch.
Yeah.
Can he throw the ball and hit someone in stride running down the field that's open?
Well, we've seen it. It's just, you're
3 times in 2 years we've seen him throw that.
He only completed 14 passes. John, go back up. What was his actual? Yeah, he only threw the ball 19 times. It was just
that's play calling again. That's what I
agree.
I'm
but
saying.
Now we're gonna have to look back. Is a lot of those play calling? Excuse me. A lot of those play callings is those RPOs too. Is that with him making that decision to give the handoff? Because Walker ran. He averaged at over 6 yards a carry until he got hurt. So we had something going.
But we also lost 2 fumbles
with 3 turnovers. Yeah, the pick and 2. And so did they. But yeah, they had 3 turnovers too. But here's the problem: is the problem with that is they capitalized on those turnovers. I don't know what we done. I didn't even look.
I just know after.
But I know they got 13 points.
I know after the interception at the 38, 40-yard line, whatever it was, and the cute time play calling with the end arounds and lining up receivers in the backfield that is bullshit.
Yeah.
You have 4 running backs. Okay, 2 of them's hurt. That means you still have 2 of them, some bitches. We don't need a wide receiver lining up in the backfield to run the ball.
Oh, I totally agree with that.
That's Levy's stupid play calling.
I like some of that, but I don't. He did a lot more.
He done it the whole game. Yeah, yes,
I know.
Since the first freaking quarter, he started out doing that shit, and I was like, it's cute time. It is.
Another thing was the penalties were just killer for us. We had over 100 penalties. We had one on an assistant coach that cost us 15 yards. Now, I don't know who that was.
11 for 101.
Yeah. Oh, that was total, but we had 1 for 15. And the penalty at the end, you had a lot of wide receivers. Like I said, everything, sometimes you just have those games you're watching and you're going, we just get to watch it live this time. It's like, we're going to lose this game. Even though at the end we had the lead. That was the whole deal. It's like, wow, we're winning this game.
We had the lead.
Surprisingly.
We had the ball with 2.5 minutes.
That's what I don't understand. Why do you... you're gashing them the whole game, running the ball with your running backs. And Why every 6th or 7th play do we put a wide receiver in the backfield or run to end around?
Listen. I mean, what we've got to realize though is no matter what you want to say, Jeff Lebby, this is his second year of calling offense. Yeah, he was a coordinator at Mississippi, but he wasn't calling the plays. I don't give a shit what anybody says. So that is half of it. This guy's young. He's a young play caller. He, I think, at times tries to do too much. But then the philosophy, though, of the game is you've got the whole thing about coaching and play calling is you've got to follow the flow of that game. And the flow was we actually were running the ball this time.
I got
and they just kind of
But that's because we were more dominant on the offensive and defensive line most of the game.
But not the defensive line. I thought our defensive line played the worst game of the year.
Yeah, it looked horrible.
They didn't have any pressure. And then once Stutzman went out, you can't afford to send anybody else.
Well, I didn't get to watch it.
Yeah,
I said, I was listening to it.
There was just not a lot. There
was a lot of tackles for loss or tackles at the line.
I mean, yeah, they had some of that. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, when they're running the ball and they don't get a yard or they lose a yard or two.
We have 3 total tackles for loss.
What was it? Yeah, that was it. And what was the quarterback stats for what was Bean's actual finishing stats? 15 to 32.
218, because we just kept giving up passing yards all over the fucking place.
So, I mean,
and
62 yards,
62 yards rushing.
Yeah,
but at what point in time?
4 carries.
What point in time does the head coach step up and say, okay, when we go into a game, we're the better fucking team. We got better players. We're bigger. We're more aggressive. Let's quit the cute time shit. And running the ball down their throat was working. So why the fuck are we doing this?
I think a philosophy, though, for a lot of coaches is, especially when you're not on that side of the ball. I mean, to say that a defensive coach doesn't know offense, that's silly because that's all they're competing against. But I think there is sign of this notion that if you're opposite, let's say your head coach like Brent's defense, so you're going to come back and on really let your coordinator do the work. I'm hiring you, and that's what a coach should do. I'm hiring you. You run the thing, and when I need to step in, I need to step in. And sometimes Brent needs to do that towards the end of the games. I agree with that. But I think philosophy is you got your philosophy.
Philosophically,
his philosophy is to go, move the ball. I mean, we're still number 4 in the nation in offense. So he's not doing everything wrong, but it's more the flow. It's like last year. The flow of the game was more of the defense and what they were doing in the play calling. That's improved. This year, the offense essentially, to me, has taken not a step back because they're better this year. It's just the flow has been different. Like I said, I don't know what's going on with the running backs. We've got 2 freshmen that are supposed to be studs. They're probably not ready. This is true freshmen, so they're not going to. Barnes has been hurt. Sawchuk was hurt earlier. Barnes came back, which is nice to see. I think Sawchuk and Barnes are the best talent, but Walker continues to impress until he got hurt. But to put Farouk in the back, that one I don't mind an in around here or there, or maybe even, are we setting up the next game for them to actually throw the ball to somebody? Maybe he was going to throw the ball to somebody, and I don't know. But I thought Gabriel, after the second pass that was incompletion or interception, I'm sorry. I don't know if it was him that decided not to go deep, or if it was he was just, I don't know. It just seemed very rushed, more rushed than I've seen him in games, I guess. But, hey, give credit to Kansas. I thought their defense played really well, and their offense did everything they needed to do to win. But let's be honest when we talk about this game. We give them a lot to get that game won, whether it's the penalties, the turnovers, stupid stuff like that. And 38 points for that defense that's supposedly improved is not good. It's just not. The big
we're not there.
And Kansas, what they done very well, just like that, was they made big plays when they needed to.
They made the big plays.
Yeah, they made the big plays.
And we
did
up.
not.
Yes.
We did not. We drove, and then we didn't get a point. Or, it was things like that. So
and we could never find Urban Meyer.
Yeah, and we looked for Urban Meyer. But anyway, hey.
I ended up at a house
first
party.
loss. We'll talk about the poll here in a minute. But let's move on. Anything else on OU you want to talk about? I think we've covered.
No, it's good to not hear Creston bitch about Gabriel's arm.
He didn't throw it enough to bitch about it. If he would have threw more,
I know, but It's nice to hear. But yeah, I think we got it all out prior to just at each other. We should have had this Monday when it was still
fresh and hot, and we were all really going at it. Yeah.
Fresh open wounds, and then
it just. But I mean,
it was a letdown, and it's that the defensive backs did just what they've been doing all season, but they didn't shore it up this time. They let it happen again.
I know.
And those big plays over the middle, those big passing plays over the middle, finally.
Yeah, but on the last drive of Kansas, when they're driving down the field and they have the two big passes, one in the center in the field and one
down the last sideline.
Okay. Why are we only pressure? I mean, we rushed 3 on both of those. Why are we only rushing 3?
Well,
he struggled when we got a little pressure on him.
But the pass in the middle, he had a linebacker or safety standing right next to him.
Yeah, it was just a good play. I mean,
he
they
got
made.
I know, but we only rushed 3. There was no pressure on him.
I mean, like I said, Gentry Williams was out. He got out. He got hurt. And he will be back. Stutzman and Walker.
We don't know the severity. I haven't seen the
game
severity.
Time decision is what they are. They've been in
because
practice.
I saw his on the big screen, and Stutzman was going back, and he was going back to defend a pass, and I can't remember if it was if it was batted or not or tipped, but when he was going back, he got his foot and ankle did that little twist. It just twisted while he was falling backwards.
I know. You can listen on the radio because I obviously wasn't there, and they were talking about they've never seen
Keep bringing that up.
No, but they. It was my choice.
I know.
They were talking about how they had never seen that much tape. They were trying to get him back in the game.
Yeah, I know. I saw him standing on the sideline. He was still fully padded.
I mean, they were talking like his ankle looked like it had a softball around it from all the tape they tried to get on his foot and ankle to shore it up enough to get him back in the game.
I've blown out the ankle. It really
he
hurts.
hit first play of he went in for one play in the third, and that was it.
Yeah, blown out ankles really hurt, and
I think it was
very hard.
It was a high ankle sprain, which is one of it's one of the worst. So, and
I'm sorry, you were in marching band. You didn't sprain anything, but you're
wet grass. I mean, sometimes you can twist a little something. But anyway, when you right left flank, type stuff. But anyway, no, like I said, it's just one of those games.
Yeah,
it just was. All right, let's move on to OSU, the upcoming opponent.
And OU's picked
6.5.
I don't know what is
6.5.
Is that what it is now? Because it was 5.5.
No, it never went down to 5. I looked. It started at 6.5. I thought it dropped to 6.
I thought it dropped
and now
to
it's 6.
5.5.
It's 6 now.
Even on the.
Unless it's. But anyway, go ahead. Let's talk about. What do you talk about when you talk? I mean, OSU now.
You talk about Ollie Gordon. You talk
6-2. Over under. I think it was
6.5. One loss in the
was
Big
7.5
12.
or 6.5 on the over under this year for wins? Because I know it was 6.5.
6.5.
I picked the over, so we need one. Ain't gonna be this one, I hope. But
it's their running back. OSU, the Ollie Gordon right now is that's what's carrying the team.
Yeah, he's spraying up Alan Bowman to be able to throw and look decent, look better. But yeah, I don't know. Ollie Gordon is right there with the Barry Sanders
he's currently.
Well, I'm saying running, just being running, getting free.
6
the yards.
So far. 6 is the lowest I've seen it right now.
Okay.
But
Thurman Thomas, who was a really good one in the late '90s.
Was that guy we talked about? No, that was in the mid '90s or early '90s.
Might have been him too. They had Oklahoma State's put out a lot of.
They put out a lot of good running backs.
They do. And what Mike Gundy finally realized is, hey, we've got a good one now. Let's just play him and let's keep the same quarterback.
It only took him 4 games to realize that.
He played in the 4th game. So currently, Ollie Gordon right now leads the nation NCAA in rushing yards. But I did pull up some attempts. Second place is 197 attempts. He's 1,060, where Ollie's got 1,087. So he's only got 27 more yards. But the second place guy's got 56 more attempts than he does. And obviously he didn't play. If he had the first 3 games, he might be pushing 1,500 already. Still with what? We've got 3 games left after 4 games left after this one,
Are there
right?
4?
Yeah, 12. Yeah, that's right. 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we're at game 8 now, so they'd have 4 games. So, I mean, you could be potentially talking about a 2,000-yard season
If he
for
would have played,
this
yeah.
guy. Now, we'll talk a little bit about this game. I mean, and then we'll get into the matchup as far as OU and OSU. You know, I think Cincinnati, we give a lot of high praise for them as far as their defense, and people still are talking about some of those defensive linemen are going to go to the NFL.
Well, they're the
draft.
guys that are left over from Luke Fickell's.
Correct. But this team's 2-6, 0-5 in the conference. They haven't won a Big 12 game yet. But I mean, look at their quarterback. I mean,
I think they're going up against UCF, aren't they?
yes, that's
That's
correct.
the next game.
Yes, correct. And would that be? Did UCF win last week or not? I didn't even look at that.
I don't believe they did.
So this will be the first Big 12 win for both them.
I believe so. Let me just jump over here real quick.
Well, right now for that game, spread's 4.5. UCF's favorite. I'd pick UCF all day long.
Oh,
They're
that's
0-5 in conference. There you go.
Both teams are 0-5.
So somebody's going to get their first Big 12 win there. But, you know, essentially the offense has been the problem for Cincinnati. Defense still has some talent. But, I mean, you know, Alan Bowman, 17-34. That's 50% through 286. Not bad, but he did throw a pick. But you've got Ollie Gordon at 25 carries for 271 yards. That's almost 11 points or 11 yards in average. Of course, he did have a long run. So when we get in a little closer to that is how is OU going to establish a run defense that can stop them? Because essentially that's what that team is. Now, halftime, though, that game was 10-7. So it was close, kind of like what we thought. Then it was like, you know, blow up city. I didn't watch that game, obviously. Probably maybe some turnovers turned into points.
When was that game on?
I don't know.
Was that game on while we were at the stadium?
That's possible.
No, it was
Well,
on
see-
later that night. You all were back at the
Was
casino.
that the 6th one?
Because my wife asked me if I
Well,
was
they
watching.
never. I don't think I've seen any of it. Never.
I
seen-
watched the game.
No, I never seen any of it at the casino on TV.
Oh, no, it was on while we were at dinner.
Probably, yeah. She
That'd
texted
be
me and
Because
probably
asked.
Bailey
right.
and I went back up to the room. Because I stayed down for a little bit, and then we
Yeah.
went back up to the room.
But
And I think the game was over by the time I got back upstairs.
But, I mean, you know, Leon Johnson, big play receivers. I mean, they made big plays for them. I don't really.
He's been mixing it up.
It's going to really depend on, as we segue, I mean, it's a good win for OSU. It's a huge turnaround from what they've done. They were 2-2. Now they're 6-2 and 4-1 in conference. Winner of this Bedlam game has got the upper hand in getting to Arlington for the Big 12 championship.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that. And so you've got let's just move on into that game. Let's do our thoughts on OU and OSU as we move to Bedlam. Last Bedlam as for the foreseeable future until they put us up in some sort of weird bowl game that I'm sure they'll try to in 4 to 5 years.
Well, or we finally, when the schedule's finally clear and we're able to schedule them again.
I don't think they ever will for a while. I just don't.
You think Oklahoma State's still that hurt?
No, I think OU doesn't want to.
I
mean, they're going to the SEC now. They're going to be playing like we're getting Maine next year.
And that was
We're
one of the
gonna play
things that we
Norfolk
got. That was one of the
State.
things we got in the Kansas game was
and-
like, enjoy the SEC, and we're like, well, okay, we're gonna make more money, and
We're still gonna be okay.
We're gonna have preference in.
Well, we're not going to
College
have
football playoff.
and we're going to be limited on these 11:30 games that are annoying. Which this game, because we lost, made it to 2:30. If we would have won, or allegedly, we would have been 11 a.m. and it would have been game day. And game day went ahead, decided to go to, I assume, Alabama. You don't even look at that. Is that where they're going?
Alabama, LSU.
Yeah, I would
figured.
assume that would be.
But
where
actually,
it
our
is.
game was going to be the one that it went to. But
Yeah, you worry so much about where game day is,
dude, that's a huge
Do you-
recruiting tool.
do
You've got
you
3
make
hours.
bets? Do you
You've
make
got
bets
3,
with
but
people?
you've got 3 hours in the morning of
Do
your
you
school.
lay up at night just looking
just
at game
constantly
day?
talked about it.
You
No, I
said
mean,
it last night. It's like the
it's-
first
it's
thing
a-
people watch.
it's a recruiting
And I said
tool.
I don't because I have to sleep through that.
But it's a recruiting tool, period. If that school, if
It
you're
does
on
help.
there, I mean,
It
you're
does.
on that. You've
I
got a
agree
helmet
with-
on there. You're there 24/7. People, the nation. That's the #1 show that's watched,
I
and
get
it's your
that.
school. Okay,
But I'm just
I mean,
saying,
that's
you worry way too
I
much.
don't worry. I'm just making a comment about it. It would have been nice
You
to have
seem
that.
to like to figure out where it's going to be week to week. Are we gonna have to start making bets on this?
No, I don't make bets. I mean, I wouldn't have bet on it
No, I'm
this
saying,
week.
should we
Well,
start
we could try next week
to
I
help
guess.
you to help out?
But I'm
with-
just saying it's a huge recruiting tool
Tool?
for every school that goes there. But I mean, simple it comes down to is what the defense does for each team. Period. You're going to have the run defense for OU, and you're going to have the pass defense for OSU. That's going to be the two thing. I think that's the keys to the game. I mean, we can talk about turnovers are going to. Yes, we don't have to talk about the obvious here, that games that can be lost because of turnovers or penalties and all this. I'm talking about when it comes down to brass tacks, it's going to be the secondary for OSU, and then it's going to be the run defense for OU. Period.
Well, it's going to be secondary for OU as well. It's also going to be the run defense.
I don't think so. It's going to be run defense. You stop the run, they're done. My game plan going in immediately would be like, make Alan Bowman win this game.
We need to get to Alan Bowman. We need to be able to get to him
make him
first.
pass the ball, you win the game.
Exactly. That's exactly
we
right.
have to get to him.
Make him. Nope. You're not going to pressure anything more on him. You make him win it. You do what you're going to do to stop the run. Period.
You're saying because he's a slow statuesque.
I just don't think he's that good. I think Jason being the backup at Kansas is better than the starter at OSU.
I agree.
He's more mobile, and he's not a great thrower, but he's not bad. I just don't. I think that I think if you're going to stop the run, now if Alan Bowman comes out and looks like Heisman numbers and beats us when he has 4 or 5 touchdowns,
look at that face.
No, but I'm saying 4 or 5 touchdowns, I'll say, hey, I was wrong.
Yeah, but you're not going to be wrong because I agree 100%. If you can stop,
no way a guy that looks like a senator is going to win the Heisman.
I'm just saying, if you can stop the run and Ollie Gordon, you're going to win the game.
Now it makes you wonder now because the Gundy has, historically been very, I don't know what you'd call it, vanilla, scared. I hate to use the word scared because I don't think that, but their play call, they're not real aggressive against OU at times. When we've watched games and thought, wow.
Gingerly?
Well, I mean, some of the games they've won, obviously, Bedlam. They won what? Riley's last year. We were a better team.
Yeah, but we all think that's because Riley gave up.
Well, no, it's a possibility.
We believe that Riley.
But we were a better team, and I think talent-wise, we're a better team now. But they do have the advantage of that running back.
I know. That's what really scares me.
Yeah,
we have 4, and we don't have. Their one running back, if you combined all of ours talent together, is not as good as their one.
Well, I'd be interested to see how our running backs.
Hell, the one we just sent to the NFL is nowhere near that guy.
Well, no, but he's a rookie in the NFL. He's playing. He's on a team. That's impressive enough.
I haven't seen him play all season.
He's on special teams. Yeah, all the time. Yeah, he's a kickoff or punt returner.
Yeah, he's a punt returner or kickoff.
Plays.
Yeah, he plays.
Yeah. So
he plays.
So the deal about
I didn't say he was generational.
I don't think anybody said that. But the linemen, I think the line. You guys say the line is not a problem. I'm still going to continue to say that our run line is not great.
It's the same line on running and passing.
But no, that's different.
You block different. It's the same. Agreed. It's the same concept, though. If you can protect your quarterback, and push guys around, then you can open a hole. If you watch the games on TV, there's holes that open, and our running backs do not find them.
And so what we'll do this week.
They do not. We have shitty running backs.
We'll do this week.
And that's why I saw Bean get loose quite a few times. And there was just one guy that was on him, and all of a sudden he's loose, and it's like, okay, where are the squatting linebackers that should be stopping him right now?
We're talking about offensive.
We're talking about offensive line there. I was talking about offensive.
You're talking about our offensive line.
I'm not sold on our offensive line like some people are.
I think our offensive line is better than what you're giving.
And see what he thinks?
I think they pass block really well.
As you screamed at him all game, there's your line! There's your line!
Well, I didn't think they played well in the Kansas game. I didn't. I don't think they... I mean, the whole team didn't play well. But, there were so many mistakes in that line. I was like, man, what are they doing? Of course, they're trying to rotate different people in. I don't know. They just haven't found maybe the right niche. They're playing different people. I'd put those young guys in that have played just a little bit and just let them grow now. I'm not going to mention a lot of names, but some of those offensive linemen, one in particular, I just think is very average and way below average. Put the freshmen in and let them play.
Okay.
But simple as that. On the guards.
Yeah, because you can always redshirt them later if you've got somebody, if that's what you're worried about. And that's what a lot of these coaches are worried about, are their redshirts.
Yeah, but I think only thing that you're going to now worry about redshirting is your skilled positions. Your quarterbacks, your running backs, and receiver. I don't even know about receiver because you can run out. You can have 4 at one time, and then you can do different packages.
Well, we're using our wide receivers as running backs anyway.
Well, so I know a little bit what I've seen for this is we're using all our wide receivers because we ain't got a lot of depth as far as age. We've got a lot of depth from youth. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm talking about our deep receivers. You know, Petaway and Stu. You know, some of those guys that are in the slot, not Petaway, Farouk. Those guys, they're trying to do other things with them to get them the ball because they're mega talented. But we don't, you know, losing Andrew Anthony, it was huge. That was a huge loss because who's our deep threat now? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
but
we have
all year we haven't had a go-to number one receiver.
Oh, Anthony, I think, was early in the year. I mean, he led the team in catches. He had a great game against Texas, gets hurt, and he's done.
Yeah, I would have
And
said
we've-
Anthony was.
yeah,
I know, but we
Now, Nick Anderson,
Since then, we
has
haven't
disappeared a little bit.
Dylan Gabriel has not found somebody that he just likes throwing to.
Agreed with that.
Like you would always
yeah,
see.
you
so
don't
you'd
have a
double
go-to
cover.
number one wide receiver.
Correct.
We don't.
And I think that's why they're playing so many to try to find this, you know, this catch on fire. Got what is it? Something in the bottle. It's a lightning in a bottle. Yes, that's what it was.
Fire in a bottle.
It is,
Well, I was close. If it hits something, it
If he does a song and dance, he remembers what he's thinking.
But no, I mean, so Bedlam, that's my keys to the game. What do you got? I mean, obviously,
I agree. 100%.
I mean, you ain't going to make mistakes
Oh,
and talk
it's,
about all that. But I mean, all that's going to factor.
Lebby's play calling's got to.
It's got to change from cute time. When you line up and you've got the better players on your sideline.
So what are you going to do? I mean, what
What am I
would
going to
be-
do?
what would-
If I see Farouk running 18 times, I'm going to go to Stillwater and I'm going to slap Levy.
No.
I'm just going to walk in and be like, press, and just slap him and say, stop! Just stop
You're
it!
wrong.
Just stop it!
Not
Yeah,
you,
I
Nick.
agree with
No, not him.
Yeah, I agree with
No,
what
I mean,
he's
so
saying.
go back and just take out your. What is your philosophy if you're going in as an offensive guy? Levy?
You got to throw the ball more than 19 times
Step on
with
the
a
gas.
quarterback that's supposed to be good, which I'm a little worried. I don't think he makes bad decisions. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think his arm strength is his biggest problem. I've said that from the beginning since I first seen him. But you have to let him throw the ball more than 19 times.
So your philosophy is
Use Gabriel's arm.
is that what your philosophy be? See, because I think
what he's saying.
No, I think you got to run the ball and establish
I think
a run
that's
game.
gonna be the focus.
But I mean,
really do.
You cannot only throw the ball 19 times.
No, I agree. Oh no, I agree with that.
I mean, I'm not saying
fear-
I'm not
because of
saying
one
give
interception, you
Gabriel
can't have
is not
fear of throwing.
Gabriel is not Hurts. He's not Mayfield. He's not Murray. You can't put the ball in his hand and expect him to win the game. I know you think Hurts.
Whatever.
But
I just kept hearing average in my head, just over
Even
and
Baker?
over and over. Not college, no. But anyway, go ahead.
he is not those caliber of quarterbacks.
Do we need to read
He
the
is not.
statistics?
We understand that he is not.
He's a better Landry Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see that.
But my point is you got to have the ball in his hand more than 19 passes
No, I agree.
in a game,
but I mean,
to win.
No,
But yes, you do have to establish the run.
That's
That is
what
how we're going to
Well,
get.
that was the question I asked. What would your game plan to be go into? I mean, I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to try to pound them and see
Here's what I
if
don't-
they can get the play action to go.
Here's what I don't understand. Farouk is our leading receiver, and yet all we did was end around him.
He lined up in the backfield and fumbled the
Run
fucking
him.
ball as a fucking tailback.
that was-
I am
that-
sorry.
that
That
was-
is stupid.
That's what we can't
Levy's
do
a
anymore.
goddamn idiot. He is a wide receiver. You have 4 running backs. Okay, 2 of them got hurt during the game. That still leaves you 2. You don't put your best receiver in the backfield to carry the ball. You keep him out there to catch the fucking ball. Period. I'm sorry. I'm just that burnt my ass listening to the radio. Farouk in the backfield lined up as a tailback again. Why the fuck 4? Why?
Nobody could ever understand.
Okay.
No,
I see
we
it.
sat
No,
there
no.
and went, why do they keep doing this?
What?
I mean, I don't mind the
It's
misdirection.
not working.
I don't mind that at all. But
The
if you just
problem is
keep doing it,
It's
Yeah.
okay. Here's my
It's just to keep doing it.
here's my deal.
You know,
it's
keep
like
doing
when you talk about all the motion and shit, the misdirection and lining him. It's the same fucking thing. It doesn't work.
well, they actually tried to give him the ball this time. It just didn't work.
I know, but
But
it
we usually
doesn't
do
work.
end arounds
I
or
know.
something. He was trying to run up the middle. I don't know.
It's stupid. But anyway, I think they got to get the run game going. But you're going to have to pass the ball more than 19 times, even if the run game's working. If the run game's working, they're going to put more in the box, which would open up the pass game. Is what I'm trying to say.
You're going to have to open up the offense, put the pedal on the gas, and just keep going. even if there's a screw
The
up,
pedal
even
on the
if there's
gas,
an
put your
interception,
foot on the gas and just go. Yeah.
even if there's a screw up, just go.
Put a gas on the pedal.
Gas on the
Just
pedal.
get
yeah.
gas on the pedal.
Pedal on the
Put
gas.
gas.
Put
Start
your
a
foot-
fire in
yeah.
a bottle.
Yeah.
And go.
That's right. Just go.
But yes, I think the run game. You ask, the run game is what we got to get going.
I think that should be
But
the.
you,
I think
but
that should
you
be the
can't
focus.
only pass. You're going to have to pass the ball 25 or 30 times.
No, I think
at
I
minimum.
think you almost want to try to beat them at what they think they're going to beat you at, and go from there. I mean, if you are talented, more talented, you got the players, then have that offensive line say, "Hey, this is our game plan. We're going to mash them and mash them and mash them, and we might only be leading by 3 at halftime or 10, but it's going to matter when it comes towards the end of the game, and they're just running all over them." And I thought this game, while they were running the ball well, I thought the play calling on that. I understand that fourth down or that last interception play that OU had the ball at their own 38 or whatever. I understand what they were trying to do. I thought the play call.
Kansas.
I thought the play calling
Here's
was
keys to the
deal.
game. We're going to have to score a hell of a lot of points in the first half, so that way when Ollie Gordon gets really good and going, we can still win the game.
And generally, yeah, you're right. They kind of are a second half team, and we've kind of been the opposite.
We're first half team,
Yeah.
and then we can't score in
Yeah.
the second half. But you watch the play calling. That's back to Lynn. I know it's his second year. I don't give a shit. You're coaching a good program, one of the top programs in the United States.
Well, I think,
and you
let's just go ahead and call it the top program in the United States. I don't care what anybody else says. It is the top.
No,
Oklahoma is the top
No,
program.
but it's one of the best programs.
Sure,
and
correct.
you always have 90% of the time you've got better talent on the field than
but
the other
some
team.
of those plays,
and there's no need having the fake bullshit.
I agree,
Just,
but sometimes when those plays work, you look like a fucking genius, and they just haven't worked. You got to put some blame on the players too. You've got to get that. I mean,
execution wise,
yes. I mean, because
some of those have the
execution.
that.
Okay,
but I would be changing the play when I hear that coming in and be like, all right, Farouk in the backfield. I'll be, you know what? Just flare out.
And I was trying to think about this.
I'm just going to throw it to you. Just go. I'm not giving you the damn ball.
No, I was trying to think.
This hasn't worked all fucking game.
Can I say one
just
thing?
take it.
I kind of disagree with you there, because if I'm running I'm running construction.
Now you're talking
crew.
4 or 5. You're talking about 4 or 5 rushes out of plays that they've probably had 70 or 80 plays. So you're talking. I mean, how many times did Farouk run the ball? 5. I mean, actually, as okay, so that's 6 plays out of a lot of other plays. I'm not just talking. I thought that scenario
Seemed like
wasn't
Did
good.
he gain
5 for 18 yards.
18 yards?
He was averaging 3.6 yards a carry.
Okay, so my point is,
Oh, look, 6.3, 4.6.
Well, and I don't. Hey, I don't count the quarterback as far as averaging, because generally it's not a run. Some are, but not mostly.
but here's my point: your business. If it's not working, you're losing money. You're changing something.
Sure.
My business.
Sure.
Changing.
Well, sure.
Okay.
Still
it didn't
never-
work. It didn't work all game. So
5 rushes,
why
though.
do you do it when you intercept the ball, you have the lead, you can win the fucking game, you have 3 yards to go, and we try a goddamn end around?
Hey,
It's stupid. Hand the ball to your...
I didn't like... Well, it would have been Barnes then.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
I mean,
but
he's
I-
better
I-
than
I didn't
Farouk.
like that, but I think that sometimes, though, that we pass a lot of blame on coordinators when sometimes it's maybe the other coordinator outdone us or the players didn't, the other team did better at making the play. I don't know. I mean, defense is there for a reason to stop whatever play you're going to do. So it's not necessarily sometimes the play you call.
But you could say the same thing. The offense is there to score
Told you it'd be
and
over.
beat the defense. I mean, I
understand that.
I mean,
I totally understand that.
And when it hasn't worked all game long, and you've tried it first
No,
quarter,
I didn't
second
like
quarter,
those
third
play
quarter,
calls,
yeah.
but I also know that effort and stuff that I've seen from OU was not there for this team on both sides of the field.
Yeah, it really wasn't. It was like,
and I don't know what it was.
And then everybody bitching about, of course, just even though we're still talking about the Kansas guy that caught the ball. OU had tipped it twice. The guy had reestablished himself inside, back inside, so that's why it counted. A lot of people were pissed off and said it shouldn't have counted. I was like, but you've got to understand how the rules.
He went out of bounds and caught it, but we tipped it. So
yeah.
So those
But penalties. Penalties.
If that player did no
discipline. We need discipline in this game.
Okay.
We need a lot of discipline in this game. We need a lot of stay your ass on the sideline. Don't be the little extra
we ever
throw
find
down.
out-
Remember the guy that threw that they already blown the whistle and he gave him a German suplex.
Silly stuff.
Here's my deal. I didn't watch the game. I was just listening to it. And the commentators, obviously, it was an Oklahoma-affiliated radio broadcast that I was listening to. And they kept saying that there was a lot of questionable calls.
There were other questionable calls that happened in the game.
Those two big ones, that one and the targeting. I mean, the targeting for Pearson, he's going to be out the first half, which could play
That
a part
one was
because
not.
he's a safety.
But that one was not.
Of course, the Big 12 came out and said, "Hey, he done it." Of course, they ain't generally not going to change their mind, and in the past. But I mean, but a lot of those were motion calls, offsides, moving and stuff, and that stuff was pretty obvious. And it, like I said, it just. And that goes back to maybe they're running a lot of new plays that people aren't used to, and that could be potentially. I mean, because what you do, let's be honest.
Well, we're gonna have it settled.
But
for the
you try new stuff on teams you should beat.
Are we gonna have it settled for the Oklahoma State?
Here was my question. I didn't see it. So the targeting call when they were down at the 1 yard line or whatever, and the quarterback is running the ball, and at what point do you become from protecting the quarterback because now he's running the ball like you're handing it to a running back? You're at the 1 yard line. I mean, you're trying to get in the end zone. You have to stop the running.
Bean was actually to blame for this. The guy was going to stop him, and the guy had already went down and was going at him. The guy had no way that he could have stopped himself. And Bean decided to slide, and when Bean did that, he slid underneath him. Okay. And that's what caused the targeting.
I understand this, but
that's why it was Bean's fault, and that's why it should have never been a targeting call.
That's my point, though. At what point in time?
No, they don't care about the defense. Nobody, NFL or college, does not care about the defense.
But at some point in time,
they care
you have to
about
realize
the offense and big scores. They want big scores.
I know.
They want fast football. That's what the fans are there for. The fans are no longer there to watch defense. They want to watch fast quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers. And honestly, how does defensive guys have asked this for years? How in the hell are we supposed to tackle somebody? Please teach us, show us. And you've got something like that where Bean decides to slide after the guy is already in a motion.
But my point is Bean was running the ball, so now he's become a running back.
Well, he's a runner. Yeah, at that point he's a runner.
And you're inside the 5 yard line. I think at some point in time it's like when you're inside the 5. All the targeting bullshit's off because when the quarterback rolls around to run the ball, he is now a fucking running back, period.
I think though the way it was set up on that play is he led with his head first, and I don't think
he led with his shoulder, but there's nothing he could do because he was going down.
Whatever, but there was no matter what player that would have been, even if the running back is not going to slide, obviously.
Right, and that's where Bean.
But that's my point.
It is a problem, but it's a rule.
And that's where it shouldn't.
I don't know if that's ever going to change.
That's where it shouldn't have been a targeting because Bean slid underneath him.
I don't know if that's ever going to be.
And that's why they called it back.
I don't know how that's going to change, I guess is what I should.
I know, but that's my question to you guys.
Have asked referees, but show us how to fucking tackle.
But I'm saying,
show us how you want us to tackle this guy.
I can understand it when you're out at the 15, the 20, the 50, whatever.
NFL.
But when you're inside the 5 and you're going for the goal line and you start to make the tackle and then he slides.
The NFL, I've noticed a little bit this year, though, has been a little bit more lenient on defensive players with the slides on the quarterback. As long as they don't hit them in the head with their head or shoulder. It's kind of what I've seen. We've seen a lot of push downs, when they're sliding and then they're just going to push them. Because they got to touch them. See, that's the whole thing everybody kind of forgets.
Or roughing the passer whenever you sack in the quarterback.
Versus NFL. He can slide and get right back up, so you got to be able to touch him.
No. Once a quarterback initiates a slide, he is down.
In the NFL.
In college, too.
Well, I know college. Anytime you're down, you're down.
But
I'm saying, don't you still have to touch him?
Not on the quarterback.
Okay, so once you go
slide on the quarterback.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes, the feet forward slide. The
what about a slide head first? I mean, that's what I'm getting at. If you're obviously going to sit on your butt and go feet forward, yeah, that would be down. But
sliding down.
That's what they teach them to do. That's what you're supposed to do.
But you're right, because there's a lot of quarterbacks that go ahead and kind of dive and lean forward with the ball to get there.
That's just open runner.
Okay, that's my point, though. I've seen a lot more lenience, though, on running into them, I think, in the NFL.
I have a problem when you're in, if you're, 5 yard line, 7 yard line in, just say 10 yard line in, and the quarterback goes to run the ball.
I'm
You gonna write this down, Creston?
What are we doing? Are we
Let's
doing
do our
final
picks.
scores?
Let's do our scores.
Yeah, I was gonna go 38-34. Oklahoma.
Okay, hang on, Sean.
I'm sorry, but Oklahoma State covers the spread.
8.
Yeah, 6.5. I mean, and it's at home.
Yeah.
Kitty?
You know, I went back and forth on this because I've imagined.
This has kept him awake all these nights.
No, I imagine this game. I imagine it two ways. I imagine it a 62-24 drubbing, but I don't. I keep backing off that because it's at home. It's an afternoon game. I'm glad it's not a night game. I would have give OSU even more credit. For some reason, we
can't play at night. And
temperature's not going to be bad. So
Just you see, I wrote mine down. I'm waiting on Kitty.
temperature looks like it's going to be good. Conditions look good and favorable.
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear. It should be warm, right?
It's yes.
Mhm.
That's the warm up.
70 around 70 degrees probably.
I'm going to go 42-21, 42-31. 42-31.
Boy, you got close to Creston.
The first time or the second time?
You got closer the second time.
Oh, okay.
But you were close.
42-31 OU.
Yes.
Yeah, he had 42-36.
I had 42-36 OU.
Oh, so you've got them not covering too. Okay.
I have them covering.
But I mean, I showed
No, I'm
Sean.
saying you have. I'm saying neither one of you have OU covering.
No, I don't have OU covering. Especially if they come up playing ball like they did in the last two games.
This game, the Kansas game, a little bit reminded me play calling of SMU. You know, watch the SMU games, very odd.
Wasn't that the first time we didn't cover?
Yes. Next time they come out, now SMU's a little bit better team than what everyone thought too.
Well, and I never denied that SMU was a bad
But
team.
I also,
a lot of commentators and local.
Well, we all had them in the top
just
four.
a lot of
We look back at our picks.
Yeah, just a lot of talking heads had them as a lower quality team, but they're going to the AAC title.
Yeah. I just think that we get a late score to cover, and I think the deal is, and like I've said, is if we don't dominate the line of scrimmage, that's going to be a concern the rest of the way out, win or lose.
But the other thing is, we need to get Kenny a direct phone line so he can call the plays, because he called a lot of the plays at Kansas. And a lot of them didn't work out.
Well, no. I was trying to call a lot of defensive plays too, because I'm watching that. I'm going, wow. I mean, and hey, give credit to Kansas. I mean, we're all giving shit on OU and how bad we played and everything. Kansas played a pretty damn good game, and Kansas has got some talent, and top of the fifth in the World Series is 0-0 still. Texas obviously leads 3-1.
They already got 2 outs at the top of the fifth.
And the Thunder did have a 20-point lead in the second quarter, and now they're only up by 2. So
remember, they were just down by 3.
Yeah, they were down. So it's a bad matchup. New Orleans is. It just is a bad matchup.
Why? Because of the fat guy in the middle?
I'm just telling you, the Thunder needs some interior help.
What happened to Chet Holmgren? What happened to Big
We'll get
Skinny?
at our basket.
What happened to Big Skinny and other Big Skinny?
He's not defensively good. Yeah.
What happened to Skinnies? What happened to the big, tall, skinny guys you love?
All right, let's move on. Do we?
We have not talked about the Tulsa SMU drubbing.
Yeah, I was looking at Tulsa too. They're 105 in offense.
I do have them covering, the Charlotte game. Well, they got East Carolina after that, and I think they finished with Tulane.
Yeah,
so that'll put them over there. That'll put them over what they were supposed to be, because I think they're 4.5.
Yeah, we was hoping they'd get
for
6.
the over under.
They need to
hoping
really
that they
get
got
6 to have that extra practice time.
I knew SMU was going to be a bad game. I didn't know that it was going to be that game.
Yeah, well,
a 62-10 game.
It is. I mean, it's going to take some time. Period. I mean, and we'll see what he's got. Give him 4 years. See what he's got after that. They give Montgomery a little longer than that. So
they gave Montgomery what, 5, 6? I mean, he felt like he was there forever.
So this week they got Charlotte, right?
Yeah, coming up on Charlotte,
and I've got TU covering. Yeah.
Yeah, I think TU covers.
Yeah, but look at that. Look what they gave up in passing. 446 yards just in passing alone.
That Preston Stone quarterback.
I haven't seen. but I haven't seen anything on.
I kind of see
injuries.
why maybe what's his face left. I'm just saying.
Oh, Tanner Mordecai.
Yeah,
and went up to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I guess.
Because I think the Stone.
But you remember that Tanner Mordecai was passing like that too, when he was at.
And I believe Kamar Wheaton is a former. If you click on him,
giggle on him.
I think he's a.
Can you giggle him?
No, I think he's a. I think he's a former.
I'm gonna giggle him.
No, I think he's a,
giggle him.
If I remember,
girl,
I think
I'm giggling you.
No, I think he's a former Alabama running back that we actually recruited and lost out to Alabama. I don't know if he went there.
Know why I went that. It looks like he's only played for SMU.
Really? Guess I was wrong about that one too. That's a rarity.
Well, we can look up.
Oh God, if Kenny, that's a rarity. Half the shit
I
you
really-
say is wrong.
I really thought he went to Alabama for some reason. That name just rung a bell to me that he actually, it seemed like he's a recruiting running back that we recruited against.
I mean, if you just take every week and listen to the podcast, you will realize
I made
how
it- I
We,
made
we,
it-
we
wrong
listened.
to-
We listened to
I
a
made
lot.
him listen to it on the way up.
We listened to a lot, and Sean
Greenwich never was at Ohio State.
Sean had the Titans winning the championship, I believe, and no,
I didn't. I had him second. That's what we were making fun of. And you know what? Will Levis? Right there. Oh, look, Zach's got him second, too.
there it is, right there. Went to Alabama, transferred to SMU.
Where?
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Right there. Okay.
Found his way back to... You
Nailed
already
it.
said you're wrong, so that's fine.
I did not say I was wrong.
You
I said I
did.
was right. I said maybe I was wrong, and I was like,
Oh,
but I
look,
really
there he
think
is
I'm
at
right.
his
Yeah.
Sooner.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, I thought that was between us and
What's
Alabama.
up with his hair here? I don't
So
understand this.
we could use him right now. Just
trying-
saying.
We could use any
Don't
running
listen.
back.
I'm telling you, we got the 2 freshmen coming in and the guy coming in. We are going to be fine.
He goes from Cardi B to Missy Elliott.
But anyway, any other games besides? I mean, the game I'm really excited for this week, as far as college, as we close out the college rendition, is obviously Texas and Kansas State's going to be interesting.
And that's why I picked that game for our picks.
They are, and Kansas State's been rocking and rolling lately. They've lost to Missouri, who's highly ranked too. They'll play
Is
Georgia.
Ewers still hurt?
Yes, Malik Murphy is still going to play this game. I don't think Ewers is coming back, from what I've heard. Now,
Do they shut him down until possible playoff or possible playoffs or bowl game, or does he shut himself down?
Oh no, I think he's going to be back regular season. I just don't think he's going to be back this game. I think he's going to be out 2
That's
to
the
3
reason
games.
I picked Kansas State. That's the reason.
I don't know that he's going to be in. I don't think he is.
This week? I don't think he is either.
No, Quinn Ewers. I think he shut himself down.
Oh no, he'll be back.
Do you think his denim and his mullet prevent him from?
I don't think he has a mullet anymore, dude.
I
He
don't
doesn't.
care.
No, he's not.
I'll always see a mullet in my eyes. I'll see it.
I still see. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Camaro driving, mullet, denim, all denim tanned out, Tennessee tuxedoed, however you want to say it.
I'm interested in the Missouri Georgia game just because of the spread. The high 16.5 points is a lot of points, and Missouri is not that bad this year. Mizzou is played better than I thought they would. I'm not saying they're great, but I'm saying they played better than I thought they would.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Kenny, it's
yes.
still possible.
Yeah, we
That's
forgot
3, 4,
we
5,
forgot
6.
about- yeah.
That's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Tulsa North Texas games, guys. It's a game
We
we're
got
going to have
East
to win.
Carolina and Charlotte, and where's North Texas?
Thought there was
4
a-
games left, not
yeah.
just 3. But no, I think I'm going to pick Texas probably on this one just because I think the talent's there. I'm not a big fan of.
Can you say the talent's there one more time?
I mean, it is. I mean, and they're
Texas
just
is
getting
more
better.
talented.
I mean, they just are.
But Kansas State is playing.
But Kansas State is an
playing-
asshole team.
Yeah, they are. They are.
it's
they
at Texas. It's at
And
Texas.
what's
too.
his
I
name?
know, but they
Kleiman?
upset
What's
a
that
lot.
coach?
Yeah, climate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kleiman.
They upset a lot of
Click on
programs
that game,
every
Sean.
year.
What?
I agree.
I mean,
I agree.
and
Well-
Ewers is not playing.
And I think that and another thing, I don't know who Kansas State played the last few games, but I think they outscored them like 89-6 or 3
Kansas
or
has
something.
been here, right?
What is it?
Right
Where's
here.
it at?
Oklahoma State was their only loss.
No, the last,
41 to 3.
82 to 3.
41 to 0.
Mama.
38-21. That's what I'm saying. They're on it. And you remember that Houston game? You want to do a little comparison there. That Houston game was within a week, and Texas.
Yeah. And had Ewers too there.
Shut up, Chief Fat Wahoo.
And
And had Ewers, and Houston was a 31-24 game.
And Ewers played in that game.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah. You know, I just hey, am I rooting for K-State? You betcha. Who isn't? What time is that? Is that an early? That's an early kickoff. I think. Yeah,
11.
11 a.m. Yeah.
big noon.
Big noons there. There's Urban, so they'll be looking for Urban. Anything else, Crescent, like the Georgia, Missouri? What's the big Pac-12 matchup? What is it this week, Sean? Is it
You have USC and Washington.
this
Yeah.
week? Is that it?
Yeah,
Is that the only?
Hold on, let me run to the scores real quick because you.
Hey, and watch the Clemson Notre Dame game. Potential that Clemson wins that game, just to upset their season, and they've kind of fell on hard times, obviously with 4 losses.
You know what? R.I.P. Bobby Knight. We forgot to say that.
I had him on my notes. Yes.
But
We'll get to him later. I got stats on him.
You know-
Move on.
no, what's his nuts went after Dabo for what he said to the caller. And he's like, "You want to do the job? Put in your application."
Oh, I didn't think that.
They're running Dabo. That one guy's running Dabo.
Dabo was funny.
Yeah.
In his response.
Well, that was
but
hilarious.
He brought up the religion deal, and it's probably something you just don't touch. I mean, I disagreed with the caller on that. You know, a man of faith. Don't tell me what Bible verse to read. You know, I know that he preaches it, and there's really only one game in that whole deal. Isn't there?
Pac-12's only got one good game.
Oh, God. So you think
Ten.
USC's got a shot against Washington?
No.
I'm just saying. Don't
No.
count out USC in this game.
I'm counting them out.
Okay, I'm just saying. Washington's had two kind of bummer games like Oklahoma has the last game.
Okay, can I say one thing?
No.
Go ahead.
Where was Lincoln Riley this past week?
He had pneumonia. They won
Okay.
by one.
Didn't he do some of the same shit? Get really sick with us and not show up to a game, and that's when
Hey,
he was
I've got
interviewing.
him mentioned
oh,
a little
sorry,
later.
sorry.
I know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take your thunder. Sorry.
Yeah, don't mention it. Please do not
I'm
mention
sorry.
it.
Okay, I'm gonna
during
quit
college
talking.
football.
Yeah,
No,
I'm gonna
you're
quit
right. No,
talking.
you're right. No, you're right.
No,
I totally
just
agree
don't
with you.
mention it while we're talking college
I totally
football.
agree with you, but I think he had to bring a doctor's note to come home or to come to the stadium.
Yeah, he had to go all the way to Chicago, allegedly.
Yeah, I know it was L.A. or Las Vegas. Close trip.
Is it Las Vegas or was it
I
Chicago?
think it's Las Vegas.
I'm just saying.
I think
I
Johnny's
mean,
Josh McDaniels.
Yeah. No, Harbaugh's job is going to be that job. We'll get to that later.
They can
in
have
this.
him.
okay, I'm going to shut up.
No, I
because-
agree. I agree. But I think that Washington looks a little bit in that OU mode, that they're slipping a little bit. They're playing down to their
Defensive-wise.
opponents.
It doesn't.
I'm not
matter.
saying. I'm just saying.
USC
I didn't
is
say
losing
that
the
USC
game.
is going to win. I
Their
said
defense
this
with
game
Greenwich
this
is
game's going to
just-
be a little closer than what the experts say. Maybe.
I'm not saying it might not be a little closer, but I'm saying that it's going to be a breeze.
Sean,
Washington's
is that
rolling.
a night game or what time of day is that on?
For
Do
what?
you remember? That
For the
that
Washington?
game? Yeah.
Boo. I'm already over here on the Big Two.
Oh, I'm good. Well, it's the night games. I mean, boy, this college schedule this week kind of looks like shit.
That's what I'm saying. The
It
Big,
is a
the
night
Big
game.
12.
6:30. Yeah.
The Big 12 and the
USC's favored by 1.5.
That's weird. That's
Oh,
random.
no, not weird at all. Actually,
How is that?
like I said, a little close. Gonna be a
Don't
little
whisper.
closer.
Do not whisper into the
Little
mic
close.
at me.
Little close.
Don't whisper in the mic at me. You think
All right.
Phoenix is going down?
Oh, and then we got LSU, Alabama.
Yeah.
That night too. Yeah. No, I didn't say that at all.
Yeah, the SEC and the Big 12 have the best games this
Oregon
week.
State, Colorado. Is anybody going to that game? Is Colorado now just kind of quietly went to the wayside? Is that what it is?
Oh, you mean the love affair with Conton
It was-
Deion
it was
Sanders?
so-
yeah, everybody's
it was-
done with that.
It was so big. Hey, though, as we close up college, the night game, though, I tell you one that's real interesting is UCLA at Arizona. Arizona's gotten better. UCLA's pretty good. Spread's only 1.5. That's going to be the night game to watch. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'll probably
only
be
damn
passed
game
out
on.
by then if OU loses.
I'll be at work. Cool.
Oh, you got to work. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Are we ready to move on to the NFL? Anything else on college? There's some good choice games, but overall, I think it's kind of it's just a bad week.
Preston, do you want
overall.
to talk about Kansas City and Denver?
No.
I think this is really...
I'm telling you, every year Kansas City has a couple of those games. They remind me of OU. They lose to people that they should not lose to. I mean, that's just the way Kansas City rolls.
Sean, did you pull up that first
First what? Spit out your words.
that first Denver game they played against them?
Oh, he's very close, yeah. No, this is a massively close game.
As he looks up that, we didn't talk about one thing in college. Let's back up for just a minute. College football playoff poll. We didn't talk about that.
I thought we were doing that at the end.
No, we ain't gonna do that. We'll just keep it at college.
We're already like an hour in.
Yeah,
And all we
we're
need to
about
talk about
done.
is
But
college
anyway,
football.
anything you saw anything about that just flapped your bamboozle? I mean, a lot of argument about OU being behind Texas and Alabama. I thought OU was placed pretty right. They had, they had the worst loss out of those two. So even though they beat Texas beat Alabama, they still
we
need
need
to be
Texas
below.
lose one more game. We need Alabama to lose.
Penn State.
We're 9, right?
Penn State, they did not like. And LSU, they're pretty in love with the 14 for the first 2-loss team. Otherwise, I thought the top 5 undefeated teams fit pretty close.
Who was the number one one-loss team? Was it
Oregon.
Oregon.
And
yeah.
Oregon is the best one-loss team, I think.
I had no problem with it when I saw it because
Nothing
Michigan
stood out except Penn State fell a little further than I thought.
Do you believe that they should have?
No, I agree with that. I just thought they'd be higher.
Right.
Yeah, I agree with where they're at.
The love affair with Penn State is over.
But I think the Indiana game hurt them most. They only come out. They were 30-something point favorites, and what we say they won by 9 or 11.
Yeah, something
like that.
Very
yeah,
close.
So. Anyway,
we
there was
talked
nothing
about
else.
that Indiana
But hey,
defense.
what's good about it is Kansas State comes in, so that's a Texas win. If Texas beats them, they beat another ranked opponent, and we beat OSU. And Kansas, who we lost to, is 21. So those teams, the Big 12, is kind of fit back up in there. And, the Notre Dame, the only one I thought that was odd was Notre Dame still at 15. I think they're trash. But anyway.
Well, that's because you're racist against Catholics.
I don't think you used that word right. But anyway, all right.
I think we've discussed
Now we'll
that.
talk about that. We'll talk about the Chiefs. I want to talk about that.
18-9 was the very first one, and that was in Kansas City, and that was where the defense stood up, but the offense...
I mean, Sean called that right. He's like, man, they never really do well against Denver this year. And Denver's just trash. But I think they have a good scheme defensively against them for some reason. I mean,
yeah, but it takes Vance Joseph getting shellacked to fix the defense. I mean, you've got a loss to the Raiders and a loss to the Commanders, a Commanders loss that you shouldn't have had.
agreed.
You get spanked by the number one offense in the league. You barely beat the Bears, and I think that one was coming from behind too, wasn't it? Like right
The
at
Bears
the end.
definitely should have won that one.
Yeah.
Damn, you hurt my stats, Denver.
And then
That was a toughie
a
loss.
10-point loss to the Zach Wilson Jets.
Yes.
But their defense is good at the Jets.
And then it goes to Patrick Mahomes, and it's the first stint there, and it's a 19-8 loss. They held Mahomes to under.
Mahomes didn't look
under
good.
20.
Kelsey didn't look
Hey,
good.
I'm
That was in the first one,
But I'm
right?
gonna tell you,
That was in the
but look,
first
Sean,
game.
look at the standings right there. The points for and points against. 172 is not far off from Kansas City, and I think Kansas City's had a down year this year as far as offensively. But take away that, and I know you can't, but take away that 70 off their points against.
No,
that
dude.
brings them down with
Yeah.
the middle teams, the Chargers and the Raiders.
Right.
So it's not like they're,
And
Denver,
the stats between Russell Wilson
Denver isn't that
and Patrick
bad.
Mahomes are
look,
also very close.
Denver is closer to being better than what you would realize, to be honest.
They
As-
are.
Now
They did have a bit of a tough stretch. They got the Bills. They got to go to Buffalo. The weather's not going to affect them. They have to go to this they have the Browns team coming in.
not counting Dobbs at the Vikings now. The new pickup. You see, Josh Dobbs was signed by the
I'm
Vikings.
just not counting the Vikings at all.
No.
It's gonna be a weird close game.
Do you know
But
if
I'm just not
Jefferson
counting
comes
it.
back, Josh Dobbs will probably have the most offensive talent team he's ever played with?
Yeah, I can see that. Somebody dropped Madison.
mean-
and I'm thinking about picking Madison
Grab
up.
it. Just grab that guy. 20 rushes,
I gotta let Aaron Jones
30 yards.
Somebody's got to let Aaron Jones go.
I've had enough.
Somebody's letting Aaron Jones go, and I'm looking at
I mean, this
Madison
guy,
now.
I'm like, oh my god. When I'm
Yeah.
playing Devontae Foreman as my second starting running back,
Dante.
I'm like, Dante, whatever, and I'm like, I got to get rid of fucking Madison because he's wasting
I mean,
space.
they're gonna end up playing some teams with really good defenses, but like terrible offense. So the Cleveland Browns and the Patriots and the Jets. Oh, they already played the Jets. And Texans have a really good defense, but their offense is just.
Obviously, that was the biggest upset of the week as we watched the. I thought, let's start at the beginning of the week because we're a little behind. I thought let's talk about the Buccaneers and Bills.
Why do we have to talk about that?
What was
Because
last
they
week?
were Thursday.
And so, the one thing I wanted to talk about that was simply not besides the Hail Mary that no one touched, which is like a record. But I still think the Bills.
Godwin found it.
I think the Bills are
Too
just
late.
something odd about them. I don't know what's going on with that offense. Do they need another running back? Probably.
Yes.
But I mean, what did they didn't do anything at the trade deadline, so they're just going to hang with what they got.
Why didn't they try to get Dalvin Cook out of New Jersey?
He's not going to play with his brother. He's not going to take that's his brother.
I am so sorry, but somebody's got to be there.
Well, he's not going to take snaps away from his brother. He's already said that. I'm not going to Buffalo. I already said it.
He needs to be in Buffalo.
No. And
Guess who gets snaps? Him and his brother.
That's fine, but he's not going to take away snaps from his brother. I mean, because if he takes one, that's one away
Well,
from
his brother needs snaps.
I don't know if it's
Something's gotta
necessarily the
happen.
running back, because then you've got Diggs. You know, the other guy, I can't think of his name, that had a really badass game for somebody on their fantasy
Williams.
team. No, Sawyer, Sizer, he's
Singletary?
Nick something.
No,
But anyway,
Singletary's down south.
I mean, they had a lot of stats, but they couldn't score. I mean, the stats were great as far as the numbers, but I mean, you're only giving up 24. Now, Tampa's defense is better than most as far as NFL. They're in the top 15, so they're not at the bottom side of it. But they still holding on to the Dolphins win, and that's going to carry them a little bit. So
Yeah, you seem to be holding on to. Oh, Leonard Fournette's there. Oh, Damian Harris.
Leonard Fournette just signed
Oh, okay.
off the practice squad. So
Well, Damian Harris didn't he have a really good game recently? Is that who you're thinking of?
no, go down to wide receivers. You say his name, I'll be like, yeah, that guy.
Shavers?
Nope, keep going down.
Sherfield?
Nah,
Shorter?
mm-mm.
Thompson, I'm done.
Higher number.
Something like that.
Keep going. No, that's it. That's the last one.
That's
Yeah.
wide receivers, Kenny.
Keep going down further. We're
That-
talking
that's-
about-
No other
That's-
wide receivers. That's all
Okay,
you
Kenny,
want.
now I'm in the offensive.
okay,
now I'm in
okay.
defense.
No,
Okay, I'm going
go
to keep
back up.
going.
No,
I'll be there. I'll be there
No,
soon.
go back up. I was looking
Reed
at- sorry.
Ferguson.
No, I was going by numbers.
The line slinger.
Sorry, go back up. It was. I have to go back.
This guy? Was it David Edwards?
No, maybe it was.
Was it
Sherfield.
Mitch
I
Morris?
don't know. I
Did
knew.
Mitch Morris have a really good
No,
game?
there was a guy that I really had never heard of that caught a lot of damn passes.
Well, that's what I said.
Maybe
Shavers?
it was Sherfield.
Sherfield or Shavers?
Try
One of those
Sherfield.
had.
Try Sherfield.
It's just.
He have a kick-ass game this last game.
It didn't look like it. Nope. It's the weirdest debate ever. Kenny's gone quiet. He wrote it down in his notes. It might have been Sharik. Swear to God, it's one of these guys.
Yeah, somebody's got him, because I was like, man, this guy keeps just building points and building points and building points.
Where's this guy's stats? Oh no, was Shavers not even playing? Khalil?
Heck, I could be wrong. Maybe I didn't see anybody do anything.
I think that's it.
Yeah,
I think it's Khalil.
it's Khalil.
Khalil what?
92 yards.
Shaver. Yeah, that was it.
35
Yeah. I thought he had a really good game in that game. That's who it was.
Shakir.
Okay. And Boise
He's
State.
high.
I mean,
He's
you got
definitely high.
random just people coming up from these random schools. But no, I thought that was.
Boise State's a
I
random school.
thought the Vikings. Yeah, they're very random now. I thought the Vikings. Not the Vikings. But the Cowboys winning that big against the Rams was surprising.
Yeah, that was hugely surprising. Now they were with who did the Rams not have?
Oh,
There was a key that was out that really
Did
set
Stafford
that
play,
off.
or did he get hurt and play? I didn't watch that game.
I don't remember. It was
Then
your
I also
wife.
thought the Bengals beating the 49ers was a bit
didn't.
surprising.
I didn't. The 49ers are injured. They need to get healthy.
Who's injured on the 49ers? Let's
Trent Williams.
let's talk about the 49ers.
Christian McCaffrey's still trying to get healthy. Debo Samuel's injured.
Oh, I know he's injured, but I'm pretty sure Christian McCaffrey played the whole game.
I'm said he's trying to get healthy. I didn't say that he
Did
wasn't
he get
healthy.
hurt? I mean, are we just making shit up now to make this loss look as
Oh
bad?
my gosh!
I'm just asking. Let's
Oh,
check it
no.
out.
Remember, it's just this Brock Purdy hate, just like
I,
his
didn't say-
Jalen
I haven't
Hurts
even
hate.
mentioned anything about Brock Purdy.
You're trying to not.
Didn't say a word.
Yeah, you're trying to not, aren't you?
Didn't say a word. Let's see here.
Injuries. Wow, I found injuries real quick. Trent Williams, Greenlaw. Greenlaw's been out. That's why they've gone and
Well,
drafted.
go back up. Go back up. He suffered it in the game, so he hadn't been out. He played the game, and Williams played the game. I watched them both play. They had stats.
Yeah, but they've been injured. They've been trying to
Okay,
get back.
the only one out that I know of is Debo. They played both games.
No, Womack is out.
Who the hell's that? Now you're just picking up random people. Oh, that Womack guy.
Well,
but Hall of Famer.
The tight end, Latua's been
Hall
out.
of Fame.
He's
Generational.
generational.
Whatever I can do to fuck with you is all I care about.
No, I know. You just watched the game, and it's not their quarterback's only fault, but he hasn't played well in the last three
That defense
losses.
hasn't been good either. Like, that defense has been.
The defense is the last two games for sure. The defense has been down. I
Go
got
to their
them
schedule,
fancy-
Sean. I
fancy.
can't remember.
Yeah.
I know they lost to the Bengals.
We lost the Bengals, the Browns, and Minnesota.
Okay, so the defense.
Well, you look at McCaffrey's.
Well, the defense only gave up
yardage
19 and
dropped.
22 points in the NFL. That's not bad for professionals.
Yeah, but McCaffrey got injured, and just like Sean's saying, McCaffrey, he's 152, and it just keeps going down all the way down to 45, 43.
Yeah, then Purdy became your leading rusher, which I believe Kenny does not like a quarterback being your leading rusher.
No, it generally never works out well. Except in the Dallas game this
Or
year
you're just
against
Lamar
Texas.
Jackson, and all you do is run. Or
That's a team
Justin
that-
Fields,
that's a
and
team-
all you do is run.
That's a team that's actually been impressive. Is the
Their defense has
Ravens.
been impressive.
The Raiders.
Without
have
that
been impressive.
defense, the Ravens are trash. Like, he hasn't been... I don't think he's worth that contract. Let's go ahead and give it to that defense.
What are you going to put up there? Are you going to put Aiden McConnell, who's starting for the Raiders now? I mean,
I don't know who
You're
Aiden
gonna
McConnell is.
Exactly.
I don't know who Aiden O'Connell is.
whatever. You know what I was talking about.
No, I didn't. I
You're
didn't.
gonna be- you're gonna
Mitch
be
McConnell?
Speech
I don't-
specific. So,
Well, yeah, Aiden O'Connell. We
Okay,
try to
so-
get these guys' names
So you're going
right.
to take him over.
It's like every time somebody says Danny Stutzman,
I mean,
you're an idiot.
you're just gonna
It's
bring-
Stutzman.
You're just going to bring him over and say, "Oh wait, no, I don't need Lamar. We paid him too much."
I'm saying they did pay them too much. I don't say
What's
they
their
didn't need
record?
it.
I mean, I think they're in the top. I'd put them in the top 5-6 teams in the
But you've
NFL right
got
now.
a computer right in front of me. What are you touching over there? What are you doing?
Oh, I'm looking at all kinds of other stuff.
Yeah, big black balls.
That'd be you.
Yeah, I know. What's up, ladies?
So, a couple of trades that went down. The main ones, obviously, was the Bears got
Bears trying to stack the defense.
Bears got Sweat from the 49ers.
Oh,
No, I'm
Chase,
sorry, from
Chase
the-
Young
from
went,
the-
and
yeah.
Chase Young went to the Commanders.
So the Commanders lost 2 of their defensive linemen,
DNs,
starting
well,
defensive
both of
linemen.
their DNs.
And so it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I haven't compared the stats, but I think both of them are. I'm not saying they're average because they're good defensive line players in the NFL.
They're disruptors.
But I think the Bears giving up a second-round pick for Sweat, which you know as well as I do, the way they're trending record-wise because of Justin Fields being out, obviously, is that they're going to have a lower.
Oh, you mean we won?
Yeah.
They're going to have a higher pick in the second round. So that second-round pick's almost going to be borderline first round.
So we started winning and without Justin Fields?
You haven't yet, I don't think.
Yeah, they have.
Yeah,
They won 1.
Still, we won.
What's your record?
2 and something.
Okay, so 1 was Fields and 1 was somebody else. But anyway,
But how are
So-
we trending?
down. But anyway.
The same damn way.
So what I'm saying is that second round pick's going to be a borderline bottom first round. And then turn around and the 49ers get Chase Young from the Washington for a third round pick. And unless they keep losing, that's going to be a late third round pick. I just thought it was desperate. Sweat's going to have to re-sign with the
That
the
already
Bears.
says they're confident.
Bears are going to have the number 1 draft space or cap space again. It's
110
$110 million, and which is huge. But are you going to overpay for this guy? They probably are because they can't give up the second round pick. I thought it was a bad move. I thought the 49ers getting Chase Young for a third round pick wasn't bad. I don't know his contract. He's probably up too, I would think. That's one thing I forgot to look at. But I thought the Bears reached for that one. And I don't know what they're doing because could you have just signed him in the offseason anyway and not give up your second round pick? It's not like they're going for the.
They're trying to fix something now that I don't know what they're trying to fix.
Are they seeing that?
We're confused about.
I
what
agree
they're
because
trying to fix.
because the Lions are obviously the
remember
first
we
team.
had Khalil Mack and then they got rid of him because he was too old. And then what did Khalil Mack?
What's he doing
What has
now?
Khalil Mack done?
tearing it up.
Tearing that ass. That's why I'm wearing the Khalil Mack Bears jersey.
Well, I kind of wonder if they didn't want to pay him at that time though too. You know, they signed him for a fat contract, but then ditched it. If I'm not mistaken, Is that
Chicago?
right? Yeah, didn't.
Well, no, I think they let him go in free agency.
Did they?
And
Okay.
L.A.
You might be
Chargers
right. You
did
might
it.
be right. Or they paid him, or they did a sign and trade, or whatever. If you can do that in football, it sounds like a basketball term. But you've got them sitting there.
Kenny, here's $5. Leave me alone.
You've got him sitting there with the.
I trade you to Creston.
No,
I'm
I mean,
gonna give you $5, and you're gonna go to Creston.
I thought
have
it was
to live
just
at
a
his
dumb
house now.
play. I don't, or it's just a dumb move for them to give that big of a pickup for Sweat.
Well, and then Philly's been shoring up their defensive issues.
Yeah, and someone
Like
who was the guy that got Leonard Williams from the Giants, and Leonard Williams was a free agent. I'm thinking he wasn't going to sign with the Giants. The Giants are over there going. I mean, that's what them trades do. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to if you play. I mean, I play GM at home all day long, and some of these guys.
His wife is really tired of
No,
it.
no, but I'm saying, I mean, would you have hired Josh McDaniels as your coach as we segue into that?
Nobody would have hired Josh
Exactly,
McDaniels.
but they did there. The owner cleared it, the GM cleared it, and that's why both of them are fired, the GM and the offensive coordinator. That came out later, which was kind of funny.
I forgot what I was trying to look up.
But no,
I was looking up trades.
it's just stupidity that you see continuously over with these people that own these teams. It just, I mean, nobody from the Patriots and Belichick has been worth a shit. We talked about that last night, or was it last night after trick-or-treating? That we talked about or was that Monday night after
Monday
plumbing?
night
Okay,
after plumbing.
so
It
okay,
was
so
Monday night after plumbing.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been plumbers and kitty handlers.
What? Oh,
Handlers.
okay.
You thought I was going to say diddlers.
No, I didn't say that. But no, I was just like,
We
what
made
is that?
children safe during
Trick-or-treat
Halloween.
time, yes.
Yeah, trick-or-treat time.
No, but I mean, there is somebody that's come out of
I
that
had someone's child.
that come out of that tree that's been worth the shit. We talked about it. We named all these people.
I
And all
said
these
Matt Campbell, but where did Matt Campbell come from?
Oh, I think he was way young, but I mean, we're talking about NFL. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about college. We're just talking about NFL.
Matt Campbell's Detroit.
You mean Dan Campbell?
I always get that wrong.
Not O'Connell. It's Connell. Oh, wait.
No.
Who's this Matt Campbell guy at Detroit?
Why do you have to be such... Why did names? No, it's just, I'm sorry, it's the name.
But I really didn't know who you were
Jesus.
talking about because Matt Campbell coaches at Iowa State. So I thought, did he ever coach there? But no, Dan Campbell. And I don't know if Dan Campbell was ever with him at all either.
Dan Campbell and Matt Campbell mixed up.
Yeah, but no, I think that it's just shit. So don't keep trying to redo the thing. There shouldn't be anybody from Belichick's tree that should be hired as a head coach ever again. Period.
Oh.
And when he retires from the Patriots,
Down by 11.
yeah, I know they're not going to win. When he retires from the Patriots, I mean, don't hire from within. It's not what they need to do. Then you go outside, hire somebody else. Excuse me. Of course, he's going to go for the record, so he's going to be here a couple more years, and they suck.
Oh, Vrabel's. Remember Vrabel?
Vrabel only played with him, I think. I don't think he ever coached.
I thought he was his linebackers coach. For a
No,
while.
he went to Houston with what's his face? Not Dan O'Brien, not Bill O'Brien. About said that
Looks
wrong.
like my grandpa.
So, anything else on NFL? I mean, games coming up this week. Preston, anything that we've looked at and we've said, "Oh my, that's gonna be a good one." Actually,
I think the Dolphins and Chiefs is probably the best game of the week, in my opinion.
2.5 point spread. Where's the game at?
I think it's in Kansas City, I believe.
So I do too, and I don't think.
It's in Casey.
I don't think the weather's going to be stupid, so it's going to be. Excuse me. Not going to be stupid as far as making an excuse for the Dolphins not to perform well. So everything should be good. But hey, one thing about the Dolphins is they hadn't beat anybody yet that's been good.
Good.
Chargers, I think, was their best win. Not real
And
sure.
that was a come from behind.
Yeah,
One
not real
point
sure
cover
if that's the best one, but I want to say it was. We've looked that up. They've beaten everybody that they should have. That is probably the best. I'm interested to see. I have an interesting game tomorrow night. I'm real interested about is the Titans at Steelers.
Okay.
You got Will Levis going to be the quarterback from now on, obviously, because they're not going to bring.
And Will Levis just threw. Yeah.
4 touchdowns.
Tannehill's out.
Yeah.
Steelers got a good defense. They have a fairly good record for being shitty as they are on
Trubisky's
offense.
their starting quarterback.
Yeah, is Trubisky going to start?
Yeah,
this
because
week?
Kenny's ribs. I haven't looked, but last I knew, Pickett's ribs were still. Is it rib or ribs?
I don't know. It took a rib.
Tyrod had ribs, I believe, and
Eagles Cowboys this
Pickett.
week. We'll see if they
Yeah.
could. If the Cowboys could.
But you don't know who's showing up for the Cowboys. That's the problem.
that's what I said. That L.A. beatdown was an anomaly. It was
gives
just,
the fans hope.
Yeah.
This year they're all going to bring the stars out, and they're like, boop. Eagles 42, Cowboys 17 or some shit like that.
It's
Kinda
like the 49ers,
kinda 49ers
yeah.
game. And then the Bills and Bengals interest me that night. Bills at Bengals. I haven't seen the weather, but that shouldn't affect either one. They're both playing
what
cold.
is the deal going on? We've talked about that earlier. What's the deal with Josh Allen? I mean, it's
Well,
just
it seems like the Bengals are trending up, and it seems like Josh
the
Allen's
Bills are
trending
going
down.
down. Yes.
But
the Bills themselves are going up, and Josh Allen himself is going down.
is it just him though? I mean, statistically, he had pretty good numbers.
Well,
I know he almost beat me in fantasy. Did you catch that almost though?
Almost.
We were there. 6 more points. 6 more points.
Thank you, Jahmyr Gibbs and St. Brown,
Who had his best game of his career.
and that's why I picked him. So because he is going to be the
You
shit.
picked him because somebody stole your other running back.
No, that's not
Yeah,
how that
that
works, dude.
seems like
I had
that
him on
happened.
my list the whole time.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Oh, that's right. It was the generational talent Bijan Robinson that he was going to take.
No, I wasn't
Yes.
going to take him.
Bull butter.
I couldn't have got him. He went way too early for me. No. I knew none of you would pick Gibbs. I'm just saying. I did my research. No.
First 6 games of the season, how was your research?
I went 0-3 and then made a comeback. And I really blame it on the Chiefs, to be honest, because their average-ass season. Then Taylor Swift came into the picture, and now it's all good. And then she missed the last game, and they suck. So surely she'll be here this week, right?
Germany.
Ah! What?
That's
This
game's in Germany.
Fly that ass in.
This game's in Germany. The Dolphins-Chiefs game's in Germany.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
is it? I didn't know
Is it?
that.
Look it up. Yeah,
Yeah, it is that
this game's
8:30
in
a.m.
German.
Damn, I'm going to have to take Sunday off.
Taylor Swift's racist against Germans.
No, she's probably performing somewhere over there. She changed her
she'll
schedule.
Be, yeah.
She did. Look it up.
Frankfurt and...
Stop.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, my word. That's been I think everybody in the NFL, even... I guarantee all the old-timers, anybody 40 or above, or like, I bet 50 or above, are like, I'm so sick of that shit.
See.
I'm not 50 or above, and I'm sick of that shit.
I know, but we're getting into old man range.
They're going to kiss. That's weird.
But no, I think it. But like we talked about before, the NFL. I mean, it's party on for them. I mean, that's free marketing. All these little girls buying jerseys, and I mean, because the
Wait,
Swifties are.
She is
legitimate.
in Buenos Aires. That is in Argentina.
Well,
Argentina.
Okay, so they're playing on the 5th, so that's fairly. I mean, she could travel.
She is not flying that far. She's not flying that.
$20. She's at the game.
She's not
Ready?
going to
I haven't heard.
I'm
but-
not going to take your bet because I'd almost say she's going to be there.
Because I see that camera panning over, and it's like, oh, there's Taylor. And Sean's like, I knew it.
Let's see if we can track Taylor Swift.
Okay, that's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
We don't normally track people on the on our
you
sports
don't.
list.
I get bored.
Oh, Jesus.
But no, that's the 3 big games, I think, or 4 big games. I'm not saying that the Dolphins or Steelers and Titans are a big game. It probably is for both of them, but it interests me. It's a Thursday night game. I'll be busy tomorrow, but anyway, but it's going to be fun to see if if Levis can do what he did in the first game, and then because the defense of the Steelers is much better.
I
than
just
what
picked Levis
Ooh,
up
okay,
in
so
fantasy.
she was
I
with
need
Travis
him to
Kelce on Halloween. They're going different directions.
She has till the night to go different directions.
They're going different directions.
Anyway, she's like, hey, you fly over with me, we hang out a little bit in Germany, and then you can fly to Argentina. Don't even know how far that is apart. In my geography mind, I don't even know how to put that together right now. But anyway, I bet it's closer than America to, is it not?
No.
That'd be
I don't
South
think
America,
so,
wouldn't it? Yeah. Well, whatever.
Okay,
Kansas
so that
City's
is
high.
That is how the Nazis made it from.
It's high. They're high. It's real high.
It's high in the U.S.
That's how the Nazis made it from to get away from everyone. They went from there to Argentina
Oh, okay.
and Brazil.
Yeah, I picked up Will Levis, though, in fantasy, so I need him to have another game like he did
You
last
gonna
week.
start him?
Breakout.
I have no choice. I have 5 players.
Who's on the bye? Who's on your bye? A little fantasy talk here.
My buy is...
And folks,
Everybody's on his day. Kittle's on bye.
yeah, I've got Kittle. I've got... hang on. I'll just tell you. I've got Trevor Lawrence because Cousins is Achilles tear, so he's gone. I got Trevor Lawrence, Javonte Williams, Calvin Ridley, George Kittle, and the 49ers defense.
Everyone's going, boy, what a shit team he's got. Win some, lose some. Which Creston usually wins by a bunch or loses by a bunch. So he's 50-50. He's like the Bills, actually, maybe.
Yeah.
The Dolphins. Maybe it's more like the Dolphins.
How do I stop this?
So
How do I
I
stop
don't know.
this?
Just don't hit play.
Yeah, the people I'm not supposed to win that's had really good seasons, I beat. And the people that I should beat, like you and Sean. What? But you, I had
I'm in
three.
the playoffs.
I had 3 players on the bench when
we
I
all
played you.
deal with buys, Creston. You can't make that as an excuse. You just got to work around it.
You had 2 fucking wins when I played you. I helped you out by having buys. I've got 5 against Sean.
Well, no, I've won 4 in a row. No, I've won 4 out of 5, I think is what it is. I started 0-3. I've lost 1 somewhere. And all fake. And the most I've seen, or the most that this week I've got some buys. My Detroit team's on buys. So I relied on them, obviously, last week to win because the Chiefs blew it. But the Chiefs play Dolphins this week, and going back, we're talking about fantasy. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game. Not a lot of defense on both sides. So, yeah, I'll fake. So, anywho, moving on. Creston, ready to do your bump, 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 bump? Ready for this? Let's do it.
Ready to go.
All right, Sean, you got to cue the music.
It's 5 minutes of fishing
Yeah.
with Creston and the
Let's
Outdoor Hour.
hear why he skipped.
And his Eufaula trip from hell.
Oh, yes, I can't wait because I have honestly on purpose, I said, don't even tell me anything about it. I want to hear it like everyone else is going to hear it. So let's hear it. Give it a start.
Okay, day 1. Or we went Friday practicing. We went down Friday and pre-fished and found fish in 2 different spots. One of them was way up in the North Canadian.
That's a river, by the way.
Yes, not going to be very many people up there fishing. We found fish, though. Okay, and then we went to another spot, mid-lake, found fish. Okay, the spot we found fish, mid-lake, we wanted to...
That's a big, big lake.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
And
So I would hate to say
so
that
I would-
mid-lake is a vast spread.
Well, here's the deal. You really need 2 to 3 days down there practicing to really figure something out. But we found fish in 2 different spots. We decided the first day of the tournament we would go to the mid-lake spot because that's where we're unloading. That's more than likely going to get pressured fished. It's more of a community hole. So we decided we would start there. Day 1, we go out and we catch 1580 something. Setting in 3rd place after the first day.
Right.
We're a 1/4 pound out of the lead.
That's when you just go to McDonald's and get a 1/4 pounder and shove it in the fish. They would never detect it.
No, never know it. Yeah, so day 1 worked out fine. Day 2, the wind was supposed to be out of the northeast. Where we found the fish in the river was on a bank. That northeast wind would have been, there'd have been a little chop on it but it was on the east side with the long creek arm. North wind would hit it a little bit if it was straight north, but out of the northeast wouldn't bother us. Winds up being damn near straight out of the west on Sunday at 40 miles an hour. We pull up to the bank on Sunday where we had found fish, and Thomas is like, "You're just going to fish. I'll keep the big motor." Left my life jacket on. He had his on. Kill switch hooked up. Had the big motor running. He was trying to hold us off bank because the trolling motor, we was out of the water in the swells more than the trolling motor was in. Trying to hold us off bank. We would raise up, slam down, take one over the bow. But we pulled up there, and the first cast, I catch a 4.5 pounder. I mean, first
That's
cast.
nice. That's a nice
Yes. First cast, catch a 4.5 pounder. By the time I get him reeled in, with him driving the boat, by the time I get him reeled in, put in the live well, get ready to make my next cast, we have taken 4 consecutive waves over the bow. We can't stay here. There's water in the bottom of the boat.
So is it like watching
Why'd you get that in there?
what was that movie with the giant wave? Remember?
Perfect Storm.
Perfect Storm. Was it like Perfect Storm?
Yeah, they didn't have
Not quite, but I mean,
for two fat guys, yeah.
for bass fishing. Okay, I mean, so we're like, okay, what do we do now? Because this was our game plan. This is what we knew. We burnt the fish up in our first spot because we called 7 or 8 times the first day. So we've caught excuse me, caught 2 or 3 limits of fish off the first spot to get up to our 1580.
Right.
So we know there's not many fish left, but we fished Friday all from daylight till dark on Friday. We only had 2 spots that we had gotten bites off of. So you have to fish those spots. You can't just go running around practicing. We had one 4.5 pounder. We're thinking if we can go back and just catch a limit of 2 pounders, we'll be fine. We go back to the first creek arm that we fished the first day. We wind up catching a 11 something pound limit. With the 4 pounder that we caught off the spot, we could not fish.
Okay.
We wind up coming in 6th place. To make it to 2nd place, to get to 2nd place, we were less than a pound out of 2nd place. We needed one 2.5 pounder the second day. We never caught that. We had a 4.5 pounder and the rest of them were 2 pounds and under. We catch a 2.5 to 3 pounder to call out a 14-inch fish for our 5th fish, which was 1 3/4 pounds. We wind up 2nd. We catch a 4 pounder, we win the whole thing. So that cost, 2nd place was $12,000, 1st place was 30-something thousand with all the 30-something thousand, then you add the contingency, so we're up to $50,000. So,
Damn.
yeah. And it was all, we had talked about it. What's the game plan? The game plan is let's fish the community hole that more people might fish and interfere with some of our fish. And we literally fished a 100-yard stretch of bank the first day, back and forth. Several people tried to come in there. They couldn't get in. You have to give a courtesy.
Sure.
So we just fished it all day. We had watched the weather. We had done all of our homework. Everything was supposed to be fine.
It's like
The weather, I mean, a west-northwest wind, and that was the only wind we could not fish the bank up in the river that we found.
Like you're on the bank, it's raining. It's like, Bodie.
And it rained the whole weekend. Yeah, it rained.
Sucks.
It did rain the whole weekend.
Gotta let you go. It's the perfect storm. I've gotta go.
So.
Well, we knew our weather was shit. We knew yours was definitely shit being on the water. So.
Yeah, and you all got a little bit of rain, but it started raining Friday afternoon.
It was worse
and
here.
It did not stop raining until Sunday night at about midnight.
We came through what he had to deal with.
We drove through what you were fishing in
on Sunday. Yeah.
It was absolutely.
Because like the whole state was covered. I told Sean, I said, we're gonna have like a tiny gap around when we get in the state line where that storm had moved. So it was in Joplin. We got a tiny gap right before Joplin.
Yeah, we got the tiny gap in Joplin.
And it was all the way until we got to practically Bonita until it cleared.
We almost died in the Subaru once.
But that was
sponsored by Subaru.
That was my tournament. It was still okay.
It's good for the Diamondbacks.
I mean, wound up winning $1,900. I don't know exactly what it was. Not as what we were hoping for, but I mean, cost us $300 to fish the tournament. And then
you guys profited about $800, less expenses of staying or whatever. Mm-hmm. She made a little money though.
The drunken teenagers doing their spinnings out in the car.
Oh yeah. That's and we were talking about that and talking about the rain, and it started raining Friday night. It rained all day Saturday. It was raining when we got up. Everything. I mean, we had the boat tarp. We untarped the boat. It gets wet. We went ahead and tarped it Saturday night at the motel just so no one would get into it. And I mean,
sure.
Obviously they could cut the tarp and but we had all the compartments locked. We had the tarp on it.
Ever any problems with that stuff? Not
one time at Lake of the Ozarks.
Do you leave most of your stuff in the boat tarped, or do you leave most stuff in the pickup bed locked? And then
usually what we do is, or most of the time, I carry my rods inside the room because after fishing, a lot of times you want to respool or change baits,
Sure.
so you just take them in the room, take the essential tackle that you're planning on putting back on, and you just lock the rest of it up in the boat. You just leave it in the boat. I mean, they got their fiberglass compartments with stainless steel locks. I mean,
So
yes, you could break in, but
Sure.
you would have to have a screwdriver.
So
and
you really
tools.
haven't had a lot of problems, but you did.
One
have
time
to
at the Lake of the Ozarks, I got a bunch of shit. I got a whole bunch of tackle stole. My rain suit that was left in the boat. Of course, rain suits, they're from $500 to
expensive.
$1,200 for most decent rain suits.
Sure.
And I left a couple of rods down in the rod locker box that I just wasn't fit, extra rods, because most of the time you have, 10 or 12 rods in the rod locker box and you have 4, 5, 6 on the deck that you're using.
Mm-hmm.
So you just leave them in. Well, they broke into the rod. I mean, so I lost some tackle one time. But
You the only one?
that's lost tackle?
No, that at that time, that one specific time, were you the only one that lost, or was there other people at that hotel? Or I mean,
Oh, no, they hit the whole.
oh, that's what I was gonna say. So you weren't the only one.
No, I
Yeah.
wasn't the only one. They
So
cleaned
peeled
house.
through there.
Yeah. But
Gotcha.
you got to think. I mean, like a lot of my rods are Falcon rods. They're $200, $250, and then you have a $200 or $300 reel. So I mean, you get 6 or 8 of them stole. You're talking about multiple thousands of dollars stole right there in just that quick.
Yeah, no kidding.
And but it was a good weekend. I mean, it was shitty. It was cold. It was rainy, and the weatherman really screwed us. I mean,
Well, the weatherman screwed us. And,
a northeast wind,
and
and
I
it
had to
wound up
babysit.
being
Could it all
west,
waited just a couple
northwest.
couple
yeah.
days?
babysit some drunk people.
Couple
I had
days.
to. I had to keep a guy from looking for Urban Meyer, which I didn't do.
Yeah. Caught we caught all of our fish on a spinnerbait. The water was a little stained. It was rainy, cloudy, wind chop. You usually throw a topwater spinnerbait. Something in those conditions that has a lot of vibration, a lot of noise, a lot.
To get him to the top.
Yeah. So we've thrown a spinnerbait. It
I guess it'd be louder than, or generally louder than what it is
So-
at the time.
And you've been hunting as well.
yes, I went hunting.
you've been
went
out.
one time.
Now we have to talk about this. You were you had a deer wear a mustache and possibly glasses,
Oh, God.
and
It really looks like
confuse
that on the
you,
webpage.
yeah,
My-
and confuse you
My
Trail
trail
cam,
cam,
trail cam.
the
to
trail
make
cam-
believe that he's not a real deer.
Yeah, it does look like he has a mustache, and it's just his muzzle
Just
the way.
shoot him. Just shoot him. Just for.
Yeah, can we please just? I mean, is he ready? Can we get him on the wall?
Yeah, he was about 135 incher, and I passed him yesterday because
Driving? Was he driving too?
You
No.
ain't seen anything
Is
here?
he driving? No, I am not a deer. I am a man. Did
No, it
delicious
was-
deer corn.
It was one of them things. I knew we had the trick or treating last night. I knew there was going to be a bunch of people over. We had food to cook. We had a bunch of stuff.
just shown up covered in blood, going, "I'm here. Let's
No,
go."
you
You should have worn the
but you
deer
also-
as your costume.
also I have 4 deer on camera that is way bigger than that deer.
No. We need mustache deer now.
But but before trail cameras come out, that deer would have been
bastard.
shot immediately at 135 inches. He's 132 to 138 inch.
Makes
deer.
corn brings them all in, and then deer cams making them choosy. You see,
It does make you more
Weird.
choosy.
So weird.
But saying that, I mean, you let that 135 inch deer walk. If he makes it till next season, he's 145 to 155.
well, what
inch
next
deer.
season he's going to have a wig on, and you won't know that that's him.
He did have some the coloration around his snout
Wearing
and
a
nose.
dress.
It did look like he had a mustache in the trail cam pictures. It was funny.
Yeah, I know it was amazingly hilarious. I kept looking at the picture, and I was like, he's wearing a mustache. He's trying to get you to believe that he is not a deer, that he is just a person that's lost, wandering out in a
was pretty
pasture.
it's pretty good. All right, Thunder getting ready to lose their second game of the year. That'll put them at 3-2. Pelicans beat them. That makes them go get them to 3-1. And currently, I think we're in the 7th inning, Sean, of the World Series Game 5. It's 1-0.
Yeah, bottom of the 7th.
Yeah,
1-0.
bottom of the 7th, 1-0.
One
Rangers,
out.
Diamondbacks got out of a bad inning in the 7th. Guy got out at home, but they did get They did get one run in, but it should have been more, honestly, for Texas. They had a fielder's choice. The guy ran in and tried to get that. So Thunder's going to lose. That's 3-2. 8 Pelicans look pretty good. Zion's back. We'll get into more basketball as we move on to the later stages of football. I just got to. Kristen, you have anything on hunting? What's your plans fishing? Are you doing any tournaments?
I've got one more tournament in November 4th or 8th. No, November 8th, 12th, something like that. Don't know if I'm going or not.
So this is kind of your wind down time for fishing.
No, he's going to Buenos Aires.
It's cold, and then he's going to he's
going to
find that.
I've got too many deer on camera.
When that deer's in Buenos Aires with that mustache, let us know, because he's actually going to the Chiefs game and then going to Buenos Aires. All right, I just have a few things I want to talk about as we close up.
You going to prove that it's true that you can do that?
No, that Ollie Gordon. I want to talk
about.
Wait
a minute. Well, we didn't talk about the Bulls. The Bulls are 2-2, and they're up 83-81 over the Dallas Mavericks. The 3-0 Dallas Mavericks.
Thunder beat them game 1. Okay, let's move on to a couple
things.
The
Bulls or
Thunder beat the Bulls game 1.
Yeah, I know.
The Bulls are horrible. They had a players only meeting after the first game.
Yeah,
the Bulls.
That means that the players wanted to find out why they were losing.
Okay. Just
you're losing to Fat Zion.
Who does that? Who has a players only meeting after game 1?
A lot of players.
None.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen, dude. Billy Donovan will be the first coach fired this year.
That's fine.
Mark it down, slap a label on it,
That's
whatever
fine.
you want to say.
But I'm sorry, but we just talked about the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I think are trash and are always going to be trash.
Oh, you could think that.
I mean, they just need to move back to Seattle.
They made the
and be
playoffs
the
last year.
Supersonics.
The Bills didn't, or the Bulls didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, the Bulls did last year.
Yeah.
Well, so did the Thunder, though. So trash, whatever. You want to say that you guys are going to be a higher seed than the Thunder?
Back.
You're going to say
move back to Seattle.
Are you going to say that the Thunder is going to be a lower or higher seed than the Bulls in the playoffs this year? Wager?
Give me a week.
Give you a week. Okay, got to study it. Okay.
I'm sorry. You owe Bailey $100
For what?
for the Kansas game. Oh,
we
you
just
Kansas.
we just made a bet straight up.
Yeah, $100. Did he not collect from you?
I don't. I mean, I haven't collected from him either.
Oh yeah, but he still owes you.
Okay. So exactly. All right. I want to, as we close up, we got to close this down. I want to talk a little bit. Ollie Gordon, sophomore running back from OSU. You know, he's been named the running back player of the week for 3 straight weeks. Big 12 offensive player 3 straight weeks. Leads NCAA in rushing. We've already talked about that. So is this the week that he doesn't? It really going to depend on OU. If OU beats OSU,
Just where he gets shut down.
that's going to help us move up that ranking. It's going to be huge because all those stats can follow. They'll talk about those things.
Well, yeah, we need another top 25 win.
Exactly, and they'll talk
Because
about that.
Kansas was top 25, they lose to Texas, drop,
Current-
and then
Current overall defensive ranking for the Bedlam game is OU is 23rd in the nation right now. OSU is 57th. We're giving up 132 average rushing, and they're 170. So offensively, 4th and 47. So as they move up, OSU was down at the bottom of those rankings as far as offensively, and now they continue to move up because the overall yards have been impressive. But in closing with my stats, Bob Knight passed away, like Sean mentioned earlier. 42 years of coaching, 899 and 374.
nobody can throw a chair as good as that, man.
That's a 706 winning percentage, 3-time national champion.
Indiana, Texas Tech.
Army was his first, and that's where
Army.
Mike Krzyzewski played for him. Krzyzewski played for him, and then that was his tutor or whatever you'd call it. But anyway, mentor. Bob Knight actually, honestly, because we're old enough to remember growing up watching him.
Oh, he's what made.
He had some high speed come apart.
He is what made.
I mean, you want to talk about
March
something coming
Madness.
unwound?
Amazing. Madness.
You know, but what I talked about is the guy though is what I loved about him, and even when he went to Texas Tech and took Texas Tech from a nobody in one of the toughest conferences in basketball, still is the Big 12, and they're still going to be, even after Texas and OU leaves, they're going to be a good basketball conference. He took them and built them into winners. I think he made the tournament every year but one, and that was his first year. And I think the first year he gave his money back. He might have done it twice, but because he said he didn't do enough job. The guy preached principles of basketball that will never. I mean, they're still preached, but it was all about the defense.
But they were actually put into practice.
But it worked.
They were preached and put into practice.
And
they're not put into practice.
And he would
They're
never
just preached now.
He would never be a coach now that would ever succeed with the talent that's coming up, only unless he paid him more. But the reason he got all the talent then is because he always won, and that's what made it great. So rest in peace, Bob Knight. one of the best basketball coaches. I always rooted for him too, because Creston, you're right. Because even if when they were losing, you were like, oh shit, it's gonna